According to prosecutors' description of a conversation Lindsay later had with Patrick, she said the voice told her to kill the children and herself because it was her last chance. Her defense argues this was a psychotic command hallucination. Prosecutors question that explanation. They point to Lindsay's behavior before Patrick left. She researched the restaurant, calculated the drive, arranged for Patrick to leave, and functioned normally in conversations. To prosecutors, those actions show planning. To the defense, they show something very different. They argue that a person experiencing severe psychiatric illness can appear functional while internally experiencing a completely different reality. That disagreement is essentially the entire case. Shortly after 6 p.m., Patrick returned. The house was quiet. He called for Lindsay. There was no answer. Then he discovered blood upstairs and an open window. Lindsay was outside. She had cut her wrist and neck and jumped from the window. Patrick called 911 at approximately 6:11. During that call, he asked Lindsay where their children were. She told him the basement. Patrick ran downstairs. He found his children unresponsive. Exercise bands were still around their necks. He removed them and desperately tried to save them while first responders raced into the home. Cora and Dawson were transported to the hospital and pronounced dead that evening. Callan still had a pulse. Doctors were able to restart his heart, but he suffered catastrophic brain damage. For 3 days, the 8-month-old remained on life support. On January 27th, Callan died. Patrick Clancy had lost all 3 of his children. Lindsay survived her suicide attempt, but the fall caused devastating spinal injuries. She was left paralyzed from the waist down. Days later, while recovering in the hospital, she began communicating with investigators and medical professionals. Eventually, Lindsay described experiencing what she called a moment of psychosis. She said she heard a male voice instructing her to kill the children and then herself. That statement would become one of the most important pieces of the entire case, because prosecutors argue there is a problem. Patrick reportedly told investigators that Lindsay had never previously told him she was hearing voices. And according to testimony at trial, the mental health professionals treating her shortly before the killings had not documented homicidal intent or command hallucinations directing her to hurt the children.